Delaware's transit service, moving forward.
Tonight, a Delaware judge rules early voting and permanent absentee laws unconstitutional, but the Attorney General vows to appeal. Plus, one Delaware school district faces pushback on proposed student-directed learning days. And the Oceans Calling Festival is headed back to Ocean City. Details on this year's hottest beachside summer concert. Those stories and much more coming up tonight on DETV News. Hello and welcome to DETV News. I'm Matt Ford. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Making headlines today, voting here in Delaware has become a bit more restrictive for now. A judge has struck down Delaware's permanent absentee and early voting statuses as unconstitutional. A Friday ruling from the Delaware Superior Court Judge Mark Connor found that the Constitution allows for only 1 day for voting, while the state's early voting law stretched that to 10 days. On the issue of permanent absentee voting, Connor wrote that the state constitution allows a voter to participate in absentee voting at only the election at which they are unable to appear. Well, at a press conference this afternoon, Attorney General Kathy Jennings vowed to appeal the ruling. Jennings said that courts are looking to restrict voting nationwide. 21,000 Delawareans, mostly sick, disabled, or with the military, make use of the absentee ballot law, and 56,000 people voted early in the 2022 general election. Jennings said her office will seek a court order pausing the Superior Court decision while she appeals the decision to the Delaware Supreme Court. We'll certainly keep you posted there. In other news, long-term care here in Delaware will undergo several key changes if a package of 4 bills introduced Monday are made into law. State Senator Spiros Montavinos is sponsoring 4 pieces of legislation aimed at reforming the system. Bills would require inspections on a more regular basis with penalties if facilities do not comply. Fines against homes that do not comply with regulations would be increased, and the numbers of long-term care workers would be increased through strengthened ties with Delaware's institutions of higher learning. Legislators said the introduction of the package follows the work of the Aging in Place Working Group from 2022 and the Long-Term Care and Memory Care Task Force from 2023. And several children were taken to the hospital complaining of burns on their hands after playing with a jewelry making kit brought to school by one of the students. It happened shortly before noon Monday at Shortridge Academy in Wilmington. It's in the Red Clay Consolidated School District. A spokeswoman for the district said the unauthorized kit contained glow glue, which reportedly caused discomfort in the hands of several children. The school sent home a statement on the incident saying that parents, guardians, and staff will be reminded to monitor students so items such as these are not brought to school. And detectives have charged 20-year-old Justin Hazabala of Newcastle with a stabbing that happened Friday afternoon. Police were called to the 1400 block of New Jersey Avenue, where they found a 47-year-old man that had been assaulted with multiple cuts and stab wounds. Through interviews and investigation, police identified Hazabala as the suspect and took him into custody. He was charged with the assault in the first degree, possession of a deadly weapon during the commission of a felony, and terroristic threatening. He was arraigned and committed on an $81,000 secured bond. And a children's pastor with the Stein Highway Church of God in Seaford has been charged with 10 felony counts of dealing in child pornography. 74-year-old James Dryden, a youth pastor for more than 20 years, was arrested earlier this month. That's according to Delaware Attorney General Kathy Jennings. The investigation into Dryden resulted from cyber tips generated by Microsoft, adding that his IP address had accessed and downloaded child sexual abuse material. The Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force investigation involved the Department of Justice and the Delaware State Police. He is being held at the Sussex Correctional Institution on $500,000 cash bail. The DOJ said the investigation continues, but there currently is no knowledge of any victims affiliated directly with the church, and that Dryden is not charged with contacting a child. In other news now, Cecil County authorities are investigating a suspected carbon monoxide poisoning that left a man dead and a woman in critical condition. Family members discovered 59-year-old Stephen Hannaford at his home in Earlville on Saturday. He was unresponsive and later died. They found his girlfriend disoriented in a bedroom. She was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. Firefighters say a kerosene heater was the only source of heat in the house, which also had no electricity. And 2 people were hospitalized this morning, Tuesday, after suffering minor injuries in a Glasgow house fire. That's according to first responders. Firefighters and paramedics were called to the 200 block of Emma Way in the Shelley Farms development just before 4:30 in the morning for reports of a blaze. 2 men, ages 54 and 60, had escaped before firefighters arrived. Paramedics treated them for smoke inhalation and burns and took them to Christiana Hospital for treatment. Fallen electrical lines and extreme hoarding inside the home made it difficult to get inside the house. That's according to the fire company that did respond. The Delaware State Fire Marshal's office is investigating the cause of the blaze. Both men were listed in stable condition at last check. And drivers in Wilmington need to be prepared as heavily traveled Walnut Street Bridge will be closed for routine maintenance for the next several days. The closure will be in effect for all vehicles and pedestrian traffic between A Street and East Front Street. The closure started Monday morning and ends Sunday, March 3rd. The Department of Transportation says the work is weather dependent and that drivers should expect minor delays and, of course, use caution in that area. To Kent County now. In Milford, proposed student-directed learning days face criticism from school board members. The 2024-2025 academic calendar suggests 4 of these such days, aiming to provide time for teacher grading and planning. The chief academic officer defends the concept, emphasizing student capability and potential productivity. While concerns are impacting that they say that working parents and its effectiveness. The school board asked for a revised draft of the calendar for its March 18th meeting next month. Its members can approve the revised calendar at that March meeting or in April's, but it must be approved by May's meeting. Also in Monday's meeting, the board voted to increase the pay of substitute school nurses from $200 to $250. That's a 25% raise there. And a Kent County paramedic was awarded a Medal of Valor today for an act of heroism that saved the life of a Frederica woman. Paramedic Michael Porter responded to a house fire in January this year, just after 1 in the morning, to find significant flames engulfing the duplex home. After being notified that an elderly woman was trapped inside that home, Porter pinpointed a critical entry point on the 2nd floor and located the woman on the interior stairs before devising a path out of that burning building. A statement presented to Porter from the Kent County Levy Court read that his swift assessment, decisive communication, and unwavering commitment to saving a life, even at great personal risk, emphasizes his valor and integrity, and was honored today. And a new survey places Delaware in the top 10 places for women. Wallet Hub compared the 50 states and Washington, D.C. across 25 key indicators of living standards for women. These include median earnings, health care, and murder rates. The top performing states were generally in the Northeast, with Massachusetts taking the top spot, and Delaware, we rounded out the top 10. The worst states for women, you might ask, according to the survey. Those are Oklahoma, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, Arkansas, and West Virginia. And before we leave you tonight, Ocean City's massive music festival, Ocean's Calling, has announced their 2024 performance lineup, slated for this September. Headliners include Blink-182, The Beach Boys, Counting Crows, the Dave Matthews Band, Cage the Elephant, Boyz II Men, and more. Last year, the very first Ocean's Calling featured headliners including Alanis Morissette, John Mayer, and the Lumineers. The inaugural festival drew in thousands last year and provided an economic boost to Ocean City businesses well after the peak summer season. Tickets Pre-sales begin this Thursday at 10 a.m., February 29th, and the general on sale is just 1 hour later at 11 a.m. More information on the festival, including the full lineup, can be found on the official Oceans Calling website. And that's going to do it for tonight's edition of DETV News. Be sure to follow us across your favorite social media platforms. And for a look at what's happening all around the great state of Delaware, head to our website. That's detvch.com. With tonight's news, I'm Matt Ford. We'll see you right back here again tomorrow night.